Hi there, my name is Samuel, and I'm a dad. I'm married, been married 20 years, and I have 3 children, 16, 15, and 10. Growing up, I was a product of a divorced home. My dad came back from Vietnam and immediately divorced my mom. My dad remarried, and then my mom also remarried a couple of different times. And I had a stepdad growing up, but he came and left and came and left. My dad and I's relationship was incredibly strained. He tried his best, but I was just confused. And then I had a grandfather who, somewhere around the age of 12 or 13, really tried to step in and be a father figure, and it was very challenging. It just didn't click. But being a dad is one of the greatest privileges in my life. The greatest privilege, I think I would have to say, is knowing Jesus. The second one, obviously, is being married to my wife, Samantha, of 20 years this year. But the third is the joy that I get by being a dad. But I'll tell you, it was incredibly hard to understand the fatherhood of God when every father figure around you seemingly abandoned you. After trying to restore my relationship with my dad in 1994, I was playing baseball at a major college in California, and my dad died of cancer. It was pretty ruthless. 6 months after that, my stepfather died and gave way to a battle with leukemia, and it was incredibly challenging. And a month later, my grandfather would take his own life because he was on a ton of medication for cancer and just decided it had been too much. So in about a 6-month process, I lost every father figure I knew. And roughly 10 years ago, my affair was announced to the world, and I was kind of really thrown for a loop. My life was turned upside down, and I devastated an incredible amount of people. And the father of the affair partner had become like a father to me. So you can kind of get the message here that I had either destroyed or had experienced incredible abandonment from father figures my entire life. So my relationship with the Lord was incredibly challenging. But I've learned now, I read this quote several years ago. It said, "Be the dad you wished you had when you were young." And I've tried to live that way. My dad did the best that he could. I don't have any anger or bitterness or resentment towards him or my stepdad or my grandfather, and certainly not my affair partner's father. But I will tell you, it was an incredible challenge for me to be able to come to the point where I could be the dad that I wish I had when I was young. And I'll never forget, someone said to me, they said, "Samuel, do you feel like a disappointment to God?" Man, I said, absolutely. After all that I've done, all the stupid things that I've done, how I've completely devastated so many people and lived like a lunatic, absolutely, I feel like a disappointment. And he looked at me right in the eye and he said, "Do you know that to disappoint God, you have to shock him? You have to catch God by surprise? You have to somehow do something that he didn't know that you were going to do?" God is sovereign, omnipotent, omnipresent. He knows what he was getting when he opened up your eyes. You can't shock God. You can't disappoint him. He knew what he was getting when he opened up your eyes. He knew what you were going to do, and he saved you anyway. I just want to tell you today, you're not a disappointment to God because you can't shock God. He has a purpose and he has a plan for you. And if you're trying to be a good dad, this is what's helped me. Be the dad you wished you had and always cried out for when you were little. I promise you, it'll change your life.